Ladies and gentlemen, oh, forgive me, ladies, I would like to cordially invite you to witness one of the world's greatest events produced for the enjoyment of the older elementary child. I present to you, ladies, the Floating Circus. Okay, in the Floating Circus you will find astonishing acts of altruism. You will find excitement to the highest degree, and you will also find social defining interactions or circumstances. Can I share one with you right now? Thank you. It's on page 112 at the bottom. Alrighty. Just as we reached the deck, we both froze. A large Negro man was standing in front of us, and his eyes opened wide when we saw him. His breeches and calico shirt were torn, and he did not have any shoes on his muddy feet. Solomon started to say something to the man, but he tore off around us and up the steps onto the balcony level. In our surprise, we dropped the basket, and the horseshoes and metal nails clanked out and skidded across the polished deck of the boat. Solomon and I dropped to our knees and cleaned up the mess. Do you think we should tell Hap? My question was interrupted by a pack of baying hound dogs. They barked and whined along the bank of the river, and men on horseback followed behind them at a furious pace. Their lanterns swung light across the muddy bank and gleamed on the river like spirits chasing their souls. The dogs suddenly stopped in front of the ramp to the boat and howled furiously like they treated a squirrel. The four men dismounted and ran aboard the palace. The oldest grabbed my shoulders and his face dropped within inches of mine. "You seen a boy, Warner Krause?" His voice was loud and his breath smelled of onions and whiskey. I shook my head. No. I had seen a man, a giant man, but no boy. "Are you lying to me?" My voice was lost. I shook my head again. The other man lifted a lantern aloft, and the muddy footprints of the Negro man made a path up the carpeted stairs. The men raced after the trail, but the smallest one of them slipped on a horseshoe and fell at my feet. He swore and righted himself, then scurried off after the others. All the commotion caused Lord Hathaway to appear. He was not dressed, but he had on his nightshirt and a robe, looking like a boy who needed a story from his mama, not the intimidating owner of the ship. "What in tarnation's going on out here?" he commanded. "Slave carriers, sir," Solomon answered. "They chased the men aboard." His voice sounded thin, like it might break. "Hell's fire!" Lord Hathaway answered. "Which way did they go?" I pointed up the steps. His slippers made a thump, thump, thump sound as he ran up the steps. I could hear the terrible ruckus the men were making in the grand amphitheater. The air felt swollen, like just before a big storm. Solomon stared off the bow of the boat like he was stuck. "How did you know he was an escaped slave?" I whispered to Solomon. I put my hand on his arm to pull him out of his thoughts. He stared at me for a moment like he didn't know me, but then he finally answered. "Fear." Fear lit his eyes. He answered, and that broke the spell we were both in. We followed the yelling and ruckus up the stairs. If you so enjoyed this book, The Floating Circus, I recommend that you go downtown to the Central Library and pick it up before your children do. It's a great book, and even adults deserve to enjoy it. Thank you.